UCO Bank was the first bank to receive RBI's approval to open a special Vostro account for INR trade. Today we have Soma Sankara Prasad, MD and CEO of UCO Bank, to talk about several issues and bank strategies. Mr. Prasad, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Coming to loan growth first, loan growth was still robust till the second quarter. Is the momentum still continuing on loan growth in the third quarter also?
Yes, I mean, as far as the loan growth is concerned, the momentum is continuing even into the third quarter. But what we gradually expect is that over a period, maybe if you look at it till March 2023, it will gradually moderate. And for this year, we are estimating it will be around 15 to 16%.
Because lending rates have gone up very sharply in the last 8 months. So, do you think that could hamper the loan growth a bit?
We have this notion that the lending rates have an impact on the loan growth. To a certain extent, it is true, but it is not entirely true for the simple reason. If you look at COVID, during the COVID time, the interest rates were at historical low. But there was no demand for loans at that point of time, either from the corporates or from the individuals. So I think the loan growth to a large extent depends upon how the economy is doing. And I think all of us are aware that India is the fastest growing economy in the world, and we are the lone bright spot in the world. So I think it is directly linked to the economic momentum in the economy. So I think though the lending rates going up do have an impact on the loan growth to a certain extent, we have not seen any such impact so far.
Do you think interest rates have peaked or near peak?
Yes, I think the interest rates have nearly peaked because we have had a look at the inflation data has come out for the month of November, where the inflation has come below the RBI's comfort level of 6%. And all of us also should remember that whatever repo rate hikes have been done by the RBI, the impact is always there with a lag.
Right.
And even in US, we find that the inflation is coming down, and the US Fed has also increased the rates only by, they will reduce the quantum of spread from 75 basis points to 50 basis points.
Right.
So I think keeping all this in view, I think the interest rates have peaked, and I think maybe they'll go up by another 25 basis points. I think that will be the terminal rate.
Also, the other issue is the deposit growth and the loan growth. We have seen deposit growths are lagging loan growths. Banks are also slowly inching up, increasing their deposit rates. Do you think deposit rates have further scope to go up?
Deposit rates always go up with a lag. Though the repo rate has gone up, for instance, when you looked at when the repo rates have actually come down, even then, when the repo rate comes down, the decrease in repo rate was immediately passed on to the borrower.
Right.
I'm talking about 2 years back. But the deposit rates gradually came down. Similarly, when the repo rate has gone up, the transmission on the lending side happens very quickly. But on the deposit side, the transmission has not happened that quickly because all the banks were flush with liquidity.
Correct.
Now, with the liquidity situation becoming a little tighter for the banks now, we have seen that number of banks, including ours, have increased the deposit rates. And if you look at the inflation data and the deposit rates now, I think now we have entered an area where the deposit rates are, there's a real positive rate
Correct.
for the deposit, which is above inflation.
So deposit rates, may have also peaked. Is that what you are suggesting?
I wouldn't say that they have peaked. It depends on how the liquidity situation pans out and how the loan demand is. But I think the interest deposit rates have gone up in the last 2-3 months. And I think now we'll have to see on the impact on the deposit flow after the deposit rates have gone up. And depending on the deposit flow, then a call will be taken by the banks whether to further increase them or to hold them at the present level.
Coming to the margins of UCO Bank, UCO Bank's margins, domestic margins were close to 3% for the second quarter. As liquidity situation is tightening, do you think the bank will be able to maintain those levels?
I think we should be able to maintain the levels because, our credit deposit ratio is still only 60%.
Right.
Which is quite low. And a lot of our money had actually gone into government securities when there was a lot of liquidity in the system.
Right.
So the investment to, deposit ratio, as you call it, is pretty high for the UCO Bank.
Right.
So considering the fact that we have a lot of liquidity as far as the SLR securities are concerned,
Right.
I think we can utilize that liquidity which is available by way of either sale or by borrowing against SLR securities, so as to reduce our cost of funding. Though the deposit rates also have gone up, they'll have some impact on the NIMs. But by and large, we expect the NIMs to remain somewhere between 2.85% and 3% going into the next 2 quarters.
UCO Bank has a capital adequacy ratio of 14.3% by the end of September this year. Do you see any fundraising activity by UCO Bank to increase the capital adequacy ratio?
See, we are adequately capitalized at 14%, 14.03. And you must remember that we have made a profit of almost 625 crores in the last 2 quarters.
Right.
And we are projected to earn a net profit of 1,500 crores.
Right.
So actually, this profit will be added back to the capital only at the end of the year. And once it is added back, our capital adequacy ratio will cross 15%. So we are planning to raise another 1,000 crores by way of tier 1 bonds, for which we will be approaching our board for approval.
Do you have any plans to sell NPS to the NARCL?
See, NARCL, there is one large NBFC account where NARCL is also one of the bidders.
Right.
So the decision will be taken by the COC based on the bids.
Right.
Other than that, we have some small accounts where we are not the leader of the consortium.
Right.
So we'll basically go with the other lenders in the consortium after discussing the offer made by the NARCL.
And finally, on the issue of UCO Bank receiving an approval from RBI for opening special Vastu account for iron ore trade, have any accounts already opened by the UCO banks? Any trade has taken place?
This is a mechanism which has been put in place by Reserve Bank of India to internationalize the rupee. And the thing that we should remember is that this mechanism is country agnostic. It is meant for all the countries.
Right.
But so far, we have got the approval for opening one account of a Russian bank called Gazprom Bank.
Right.
It is called the Special Vostro account. So that account has been opened. But so far, no trade or no transactions have happened.
Is there any other country which has approached UCO Bank for opening for similar accounts?
I don't have the information, but I mean, there are a number of countries which might be interested in this rupee mechanism, especially countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, some countries in the Gulf, and some countries in Africa with whom India has a lot of trade. So I think this is a new mechanism which has been put in place. It will take some time for it to pick up. But going forward, I think we'll see a strong interest in this rupees settlement mechanism from these countries.
Mr. Prasad, thank you so much for speaking to Business Standard. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
I am the blue of the limitless sky. I am the inspiration that led success soar high. I will achieve, I will fly high. I am the I in SBI.
I'm backed by the nation's trusted bank, SBI, the banker to every Indian.